Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Twisted and Uncorked. This is episode 90. Holy shit, guys. 10 episodes away from 100. I have many feelings about it. And I'm feeling especially jazzed after our recording of We Read It on Patreon. If you want more Twisted content, go check that out because, as per usual, this month was a wild ride and I feel much better about the situation of my life. You know, whenever you're having a bad day, guys, and you're feeling like things are just not going your way, go on to We Read It. Go listen to We Read It, but also go on to Reddit. You will feel better within 5 minutes.
Definitely.
So we are on to our special topic episodes voted by you twisted humans. Thank you all so much. This round we are doing ridiculous motives suggested by twisted patron Justin. So thank you so much, Justin, for the suggestion, and thank you for all of you that made other suggestions and voted. If your suggestion did not get picked, we do save those, and you know, if we don't have time to do a call out, we'll have you vote on previous suggestions. So keep sending them in. We've done murderous moms, we've done weird weapons, we've done sleepwalking crimes, that kind of stuff. So send those suggestions to twistedanduncorked@gmail.com, or you can hit that little contact us button on twistedanduncorked.com. Before we get into this, I have a little preface that I have 2 stories for you today because the amount of information surrounding the cases that I chose, and this is just such a niche topic, and I wanted to give you guys a full episode still. But there's a theme. But before I tell you those 2 stories, Sierra, do you have a fun fact for me?
I do have a fun fact about the month of December. I know this comes out in November, but it's like the very end of November.
So it's basically December. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, so December is coming. Winter is coming.
'Tis the season to be jolly, bitches.
Yeah, so the name December comes from the Latin decem for 10.
Okay. Even
though it's the 12th month of the year.
Weird.
It used to be on the Roman calendar the 10th month. How weird.
Okay.
It is also, you know, the start of winter is on Christmas Eve. Well, I guess not technically Christmas Eve. It's on the winter solstice. It's on Yule, which is December 21st.
Yeah.
But according to ancient legend, forest animals can speak in human language on that day.
Oh, stop it. That is the most wholesome Snow White bullshit I've ever heard, and I love it. I am obsessed.
Very fun.
Yes, that is like the funnest of facts. I just told Sierra kind of a fun fact about myself, which is that I've never tried cherry Coke before, and that's one of her favorites. So I finally am trying that, and I have another fun fact for you. It's also about animals, and it's also wholesome as shit. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland.
I knew that.
Fuck! Have we used this fun fact before? We're 90 episodes in, so it's bound to happen, guys. Yell at us.
We might have, but I didn't know that whether or not we have, so I'm not sure.
Tell us, guys, if we've used it before. If we have, I'm sorry, but it's awesome, and it should be used twice.
I kind of said 2 anyway.
Yeah, right. Although it's a fabled creature, the national animal of Scotland is actually the mythical unicorn. It was chosen because of its association with dominance and a word that I really can't say, chivalry. Thank you. Chivalry. As well as purity and innocence in the Celtic mythology. So, love it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fun fact about Alecia. I cannot say that word. Never have been able to. Probably never will.
That's so strange. I feel like, no offense, I feel like it's not even that hard of a word to say.
It's awkward. It's like rural juror. It's just like, it makes my mouth feel full, you know?
Yeah, I guess
It makes sense. It makes sense. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. Um, but speaking of making words harder to say, alcohol, wine. We're gonna need some of it, especially kind of because my episode is pretty dark.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. Well, it's not that dark. It's dark. It's still a ridiculous motive. We still have things to laugh about.
Yeah.
But today we are drinking Black Cellar Tempranillo Merlot. We've, I think, only ever done one other Tempranillo on the show, so I thought it was about time to
Yeah.
circle back. This one is bright in color. It's a really deep purpley red. It's really pretty. I do not have the bottle. It's currently being used to hydro grow some herbs because I only had a couple of bottles on hand and that's what they're in. And this is my last glass. So, but it's a really cool bottle. It's got a red key on it. You've probably seen it at your local liquor store. It's fruit forward with a bouquet of ripe blue plum, which, like, what is a blue plum? Black cherry, sweet spice, and a hint of violet and vanilla. So, I'm digging it. I really am.
I've totally seen a blue
You
plum.
know exactly what? You've seen it? Okay, I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna say I've totally seen this bottle of wine.
No,
What the
a
fuck is
blue
a blue
plum.
plum?
I mean, it's a plum that's blue.
Is it actually blue on the outside? It's not like a
It's
blackberry situation.
it's like a it's more like a blackberry. It's like a purple grape.
Okay. I thought that was just a plum.
Dark.
Is
Yeah.
that not what plums just look
Well,
like?
I've seen like reddish plums before.
Oh, is it those plums? Because you know how sometimes you cut into a plum and it's like fleshy and white on the inside? Or you cut into a
Right, and
plum and
then
it's
sometimes
dark
it's
on the
purple.
inside? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know what's up. All right. I'm on the same page now. I've just never heard that term. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really am enjoying it. Like I said, I drank most of it during our previous recording about 5 minutes ago. It was spicy, so yeah, it was a good one. I would probably rate this a 7. No, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. I liked it.
Nice.
Sierra is still sick, so she is drinking something that she has recently concocted and seems to be a new favorite. Tell
Yeah,
the people. We've only told the
it's-
patrons. Tell the people.
It's just a chai tea latte that I sprinkled some Kahlua into because
You
I
say
want to
that
be able
like
to fall
it's an
asleep.
everyday common thing.
I mean, it's like having a coffee and sprinkling some Kahlua into it or
I've-
some Baileys. It's a chai tea latte that I put some Kahlua in.
I've
You
just
know?
never heard that. I'm fascinated by it. I want to try it.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, it tastes like a chai tea latte. I don't know.
If you're watching this on YouTube, like I said, I'm running low. I'm trying a cherry Coke with rum, as this is my last glass of wine, so it's needed. Buckle up. Before we get into that, though, we are going to hear a quick promo from our friends at the Tipsy Ghost Podcast. And we will be right back. Welcome back. Like I said, I actually have 2 stories for you guys today, and they have a theme. We're going to recognize it right away. It doesn't make the severity of these situations any less sad, and the motives behind these crimes any less ridiculous. On March 14th, 2008, an argument broke out between Robert Lyons, 39, and his mother, Linda Bullock, 61, in the condo that they shared together in Carroll Stream, Chicago, where, tragically, Carol would die at the hands of her son. Leading up to this, the two had a fairly close relationship. Robert did struggle with severe psychological and anger problems since he was a teenager, and in an effort for him to be able to work more on himself and manage his mental illnesses, the pair moved back in with each other, and he was 38 years old, so literally right before this crime happened.
Goodness.
Robert suffered from bipolar disorder, and it's speculated, given his behaviors, that it was likely left untreated. Not by a lack of trying, though. He did have a prescription medication for this disorder. But given the dates of the prescription and the amount of medication left inside the bottles, it was likely that he was not taking it consistently at the time of the crime. She encouraged him to seek professional help and stay on top of his medications, but he resisted. And this is a very common thing with people with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, it's like something inside of them is telling them that everything is fine. It can be part of the disorder, and also most of these medications make you feel really shitty. So it's
Yeah.
not uncommon that people will miss doses or take them inconsistently.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about the drugs is that, like, on one hand, you kind of really need them, and on the other hand, they kind of fucking suck.
Yeah, it's
So,
hard. I'm hoping that in the future, as a lover of the psychological side of people, that they find something, more in line with our natural human chemistry that don't make us feel like shit, because these are really serious disorders and there's no
right.
stigma in them, but they're hard when left untreated. I'm not forgiving his next moves, but I'm sympathizing with him because it's hard. She encouraged him to seek professional help and stay on top of his medication, but he resisted. And she didn't push it any further because she didn't want to cause any more unnecessary fights. Neighbors reported that the two frequently fought. Family members and friends felt that she did the best that she could with her son, given the resources that she had and, kind of where their economical situation was. On this fateful evening, Robert, a huge Avril Lavigne fan, was sad to learn that upcoming tickets to a show was sold out, until he remembered that a friend of his mom's had the hookup that he needed. He asked her to call and see if he could get skybox tickets. She did not want to inconvenience her friend in this way. Those seats were particularly expensive, and she told her son that he would have to wait for the next show. He flew into a rage, picking up a bottle of cognac and hitting his mother twice on the back of the head. He then grabbed a knife and stabbed her 9 times in the back
Jesus Christ.
after she had fallen to the kitchen floor onto her stomach. The attack was so violent that the blade of the knife broke off in her back, and
Oh
the
my
second knife
God.
used in the attack was bent. So he wrecked 2 knives doing this.
Yeah.
Carol, standing 5'2", was no match for her son, but she didn't really stand a chance anyway, being taken by surprise. Afterwards, Robert threw Drano and other household cleaning products over her body and then went shopping. He was then arrested
fuck?
later that same evening while dining at a local Hooters restaurant. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Hooters, but it's definitely no classy joint.
Seems like he's disassociating.
Yeah, he's like, I'm
Like,
gonna
oh,
look at
that
pretty
did
girls
not
with
just
big
happen.
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Lyons could not afford his own attorney, so he was appointed one in court. And they tried to have him convicted of second-degree murder instead. The killing, they argued, was accidental. In his version of events, Carol had threatened him with a butcher knife during their argument, and he retaliated by hitting her over the head as a type of self-defense method. However, she's not around to tell her side of the story, and given what we know about their relationship leading up to this, that's highly unlikely.
And he used 2 different knives.
Yeah, sir. This is not
You hit her,
self-defense.
and then you leave. That's self-defense.
Yeah.
You hit her, then you stab her. Maybe self-defense. You hit her, then you stab her, then you get another knife and stab her again? No.
Not self-defense
Jesus.
anymore. That was a great little wrap-up, Sierra. The prosecution, on the other hand, recognized that although the murder was not premeditated, it was extremely violent, as Sierra just eloquently outlined, and at any point during his blows, he could have stopped. It was clear that he wanted to kill her. The trial took place in September of 2011 and lasted 6 days. Jurors deliberated for not even 2 hours before finding Robert Lyons guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison without the chance of parole. Which, interesting first-degree murder, because, again, this wasn't premeditated. It was extremely violent, but it's just an interesting sentence to me.
I think...
And we'll get to that, analysis in the second story that I have, because it's something that, in my opinion, should have been first-degree murder, but got second-degree murder. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I think that for this one specifically, it might not have been premeditated as in, like, before he started.
Yeah.
But once he started the violent attack,
Yes.
it became I know what I'm doing and I'm going to finish this.
Yep.
And
I
so,
agree.
to me, that does deserve first degree.
That makes sense. I agree. And it's wild to me.
It's crazy that this is the story that you chose. Have you seen the news lately about these fucking Taylor Swift concert tickets?
No, but
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
doubt that it's getting really out
It's
of
fucking
hand.
insane. Like, people are posting their tickets for $33,000.
Okay, fuck all the way off.
see
I've
Taylor
been to
Swift.
2 Taylor Swift concerts, and they did not cost that much, and that was at Rogers Arena here, which is grossly expensive compared to
Oh no,
anywhere
this
else.
is people reselling them.
I know, but still,
They bought
like,
them. And people are fucking... I'm telling you, Taylor Swift has a cult. Sorry, not sorry. If you're a Swiftie,
yeah, I don't
quote
even know
unquote,
what that means.
you're
That
in
was
a
not
cult.
a thing when I was a fan.
Yeah,
Back in her teardrops on my guitar days.
right.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's to the point that people will... If you ever get to a point where you put the person over what they're representing, as in you will represent anything they represent just because they are them,
Oh, yeah, that's a
it's
problem.
not good
That's a problem.
anymore.
That's a problem.
Yeah. You have to be able to separate the person from the things.
Yep.
You have to like your own things,
I mean,
whether or not the
that's
person likes them.
coming from 2 people that spent $80 on a bottle of tequila because Nick Jonas made it, but it was worth the $80.
Hey, we did that to test it out to see
Yeah.
if we
It was-
wanted to support it or not.
It was a pure experiment, yeah.
Yeah. And that was $80 Canadian. It was only like $40 here.
And it was fucking $80 well spent.
It was good.
Go listen to our 1-year podiversary episode on Patreon.
Yeah.
It's available at all tiers, and it was a wild ride. But I completely agree. You can't just blindly follow something because it is somebody that's doing it. I mean,
Right.
I like certain artists as much as the next girl, but there's a song or two that I don't like. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna listen to it because it came from this person, or I'm gonna buy it
Yeah.
because it came from this person.
And same the other way with
Yeah.
the whole fucking J.K. Rowling stuff.
Yep.
She's a shitty person, but Harry Potter's still a good book series.
100%.
So-
Never gonna put it down. Can't tell me otherwise. We can like the product and not the person, and we can like the
Yes.
person and not the product, okay?
Yes.
Guys, keep that in mind. He was sentenced to first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison without the chance of parole.
Goodness.
State Attorney Robert Berlin said in a statement, quote, "Today, Mr. Lyons learned that he will spend the next 40 years of his life behind bars for the vicious murder of his mother."
And
Linda
never get
Bullock.
to see Avril Lavigne in concert.
All of the articles that I read was like, Robert Lyons is not going to get to go to an Avril Lavigne concert for decades. Ooh, you got to do what you do when you're a journalist. Fair enough. But Linda Bullock did not deserve to die at the hands of her own son. She did not deserve to be beaten, stabbed, and have chemicals poured over her body as she laid helpless on the floor. Mr. Lyons, however, deserves this punishment. He has earned it and deserves to spend what is likely the rest of his life removed from society. End quote. And that is the tragic death of Linda Bullock and the story of Robert Lyons.
Goodness gracious.
Avril Lavigne is wonderful, but is not worth murder.
Yeah. When was this? 2011? Was
This-
she even still Avril Lavigne at the time?
This was...
when did she become Melissa?
Yeah,
when did
that's
her
right.
grandpa
I
die?
don't know. This is in 2008 that the murder took place. The trial took place in 2011.
Oh, okay. So it was still Avril then in 2008,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Hang on. I have
She's
to
gonna.
know.
We have
so
to
that
know. We
people
can't
know.
promote false information, guys. Pause for
When
dramatic
did
effect.
Avril Lavigne... Oh, 2003.
Shit!
Yeah, that wasn't even Avril. That was Melissa. Damn it.
God damn it, Robert! Get your facts straight before you. Well, again, not worth murder, guys. Nothing's worth murder. Crazy. And before I get into my second story, we are going to take a quick ad break. Okay, welcome back. My second story today is maybe a little more well known, given the trial occurred this year in 2022.
What?
I always gotta remind myself to say years because at some point, like 3 years down the line, somebody's gonna be listening to this podcast episode and be
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
2022, guys. And as soon as I start talking about it, Sierra, it will become familiar.
Okay.
I remember a lot of people talking to me about it before I even saw it in my news feed, simply because we do have a podcast where we talk about this sort of stuff, this twisted content, and because it happened about 4 hours away from where I live. Ryan Grantham was born on January 31st, 1998 in Squamish, British Columbia, Canada. He began acting when he was 9 years old and is best known for his roles in Riverdale, Supernatural, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and iZombie.
Yep, I remember now. I was like, hang on a second. It's coming.
It's
Slowly.
coming. He practiced acting as a kid and enrolled in schools that specialized in acting, landing his first role that same year in The Secret of the Nutcracker. Not a lot else is known about Ryan, or at least not easy to find because of what I'm going to tell you next. In June of 2022, he went to trial for murdering his mom, Barbara White, 64, in cold blood.
So you did moms.
Yeah, that's one theme for sure. Yeah. Men who murder their moms. Sorry, guys. For ridiculous reasons. His reasoning for killing his mother was to spare her from the crimes that he was intending to commit. Apparently, he had been having dark, violent fantasies for a long time and knew it was only a matter of time before he committed these crimes. And he knew that his mother couldn't handle it, so he killed her.
Goodness
Okay.
gracious.
On March 31st, 2020, Ryan, 24, shot his mother, Barbara Waite, 64, in the back of the head while she was playing piano in their Squamish townhouse.
Oh,
He rehearsed the killings and even took videos practicing which were used as evidence in court. So, like, he was trying to make sure that this was going to go off without a hitch.
yeah.
There was even a 4-minute video hours after the murder occurred where he confessed to the murder and his mother's body is shown in the video. As soon as, this stuff kind of came to light, these videos were quickly taken off the internet, but they were admissible in court still. So I can't even imagine being a juror on this trial. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's really dark. He packed up his car the next day with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, which I'm like, what are those?
You don't know what a Molotov cocktail is?
No.
It's when you have, like, a bottle of liquor and you stick, like, a rag in there and then you light the rag on fire and it...
I should have Googled this before, guys. This is going to be like a solar system thing. I thought it was a literal, like, premixed cocktail.
No,
Like when you can buy
like a bomb.
Caesars in bottles. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, good to know.
A handmade grenade type thing.
Makes more sense given his
Yeah.
next intentions. I was like, oh, okay, he might need a drink after this heinous act. Makes sense. Camping gear and a map of the Rideau Cottage in Ottawa, in Ottawa, Canada. He was going to start driving east with the intention of killing the current Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure a lot of Canadians feel that need every now and again, but they don't, plan it.
Yeah.
However, he did have a change of heart and he drove to the Vancouver Police Department to turn himself in. His sentencing began on June 13th, 2022. His lawyer argued that Ryan did it due to his mental illness, including an intense period of clinical depression. But
What is that?
that was Kevin's phone. He left it in here.
Oh, I thought it was piano music. I was like, is the fucking ghost mom in there?
Okay.
The fuck?
Speaking of ghosts, quick aside, I recorded yesterday with Homespun Haynes and was talking about a few different things that have happened relatively recently in addition to me just being haunted in general. And I just looked over where my bathroom and like closet hallway is and the bathroom door is shut. Definitely didn't shut it. So that's fun.
Fun
And then
times.
I was like, she was like trying to, like, because all of this stuff has happened recently, and she was trying to figure out, like, is there an object or something? Like, or has it just been a while since you've done a cleanse and you guys talk about dark subjects? And then I remembered this thing.
What is that? Oh.
This what okay, so guys, I'll put a picture of it on social media. When I went to visit Sierra, we went randonauting with her kids. Randonauting?
No.
It's not random. No.
Geocaching.
Geocaching with her kids. And we put treasures in, and we took a treasure, which is the standard. And my treasure that I felt the need to take, we thought was like a piece of coral at first, but now upon inspection appears to be like a jump rope type
Handle?
situation. But it's
Yeah.
super like corroded, and
Like the plastic handle.
yeah, it's weathered to shit. So I don't know where it came from. And
It
it
is very
happens to sit
strange.
in my podcast area, so maybe we need to do a little
Creepy.
bit of saging on that.
Yeah.
But it's a good little reminder of our trip. It was fun. Sierra just put a bunch of our stickers in there and didn't take anything. Oh, and yeah, you need to sage the shit out of the key that Bubba took, because who knows?
I have not, ever since I put my fucking crystals in front of all my reflective surfaces, nothing has been happening. I did have a really bad dream the other day, though. I can't remember what it was. But I do know that it wasn't scary, but it wasn't good.
Like it was
And
unsettling.
I woke up a couple times and went back to sleep purposely, forcing myself to have that same dream because I was like trying to resolve what was happening. Like it felt like something that I had to like work through in my sleep. It was weird. I didn't like it.
I see.
I don't remember what it is now. I should have wrote it down.
Maybe
would
it'll
have.
come to you. And you
I
can
hope I
talk
have
about
it again tonight just so that I could resolve it.
Oh, no.
I remember not having resolved it, and I woke up like, I don't feel like I should be awake. Like, I need to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we're getting off topic.
No, it's okay. It was a little sidebar. So Ryan was dealing with depression at the time of the crime, allegedly.
Aren't we all? And we
Yeah.
don't kill.
Yeah, that's very true. Basically, in his sentencing, two psychologists had kind of analyzed him a little bit prior to this, saying that he had dealt with severe depression, that he was unmedicated and in, a period of depression where he was, because of the nature of his job, forced to appear like everything was fine on the outside, which, like Sierra said, don't we all? And don't we all? Like, it doesn't matter if you're an actor or you're just going to your job, you have to still put on that brave face.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, society still is not in a place where they're willing to accept a mental health bad day. Like, it's not right.
Yeah.
They also argued that Ryan was an experienced gun user and a former gun club member. They highlighted that in the months leading up to the murder of his mother, he bought a new gun, even though he was aware of his struggles and his urges to commit violence and killings, which was eventually his motive for why he killed his mom. He wanted to spare her, knowing that he was going to do these things in the future.
Right.
The circumstances of the case were closer to first-degree murder than manslaughter or second-degree murder on the day of the murder, and he had many chances to reconsider what he was going to do. He sat on the stairs of their townhouse home while his mother was playing the piano for almost 15 minutes prior to murdering her. He also left his house on the day that his mother was murdered with the intention of driving 50 hours to Ottawa to kill Justin Trudeau.
Goodness.
And now that I know what a Molotov cocktail is, it's not a good
Yeah.
intention, okay, guys? He drove as far as Hope, British Columbia, before turning around with thoughts that he would instead commit an act of mass violence at the school that he attended for university classes, Simon Fraser University, or other locations. And instead that night, he turned himself into the Vancouver police.
Thank God.
So he was gonna do a bunch of shit before he was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Which, yes, is a move in his favor, but he was still having all of these thoughts. He still had time to stop himself, and he still had those intentions.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know. I hate when people are angry about something, but then decide to kill innocent victims for it. Like, those people have nothing to do with it.
100%. So, like I said, his sentencing began on June 30th, 2022. His lawyer argued that due to his mental illness and an intense period of clinical depression, but his prosecutors argued that Ryan committed, quote unquote, a heartbreaking breach of trust, saying that his mother was an excellent parent and that he had no reason to fear or want to hurt her, and she had no reason to fear her son. On September 23rd, 2022, Ryan pled guilty to the charges of second-degree murder and was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, and he will be eligible for parole in 2036. And his lawyers are arguing that he be moved out of a maximum security prison now. This article was just released a couple of months ago, because he's like a pretty scrawny kid. He's not a kid,
Yeah.
He's 24 years old. But he's
Yeah.
scrawny and short, and they worry because of his higher, notoriety in society. Not that he's like a very well-known actor, but he's still an actor. He's young and he's small, that he may be brutalized in prison.
He's in fucking Canada. Yeah. Like, they're all about reform anyway. It's
Yeah.
not like he's in American prison, okay?
But
You'll
they're
be
saying,
fucking
like,
fine.
sexually brutalized. Like, he's
Well-
gonna be somebody's bitch in prison.
Yeah, suck it up.
Literally. I'm sorry, that was a really bad joke. And that is the horrible murder of Barbara Waite and the story of actor Ryan Grantham, which I'm sure many of you have heard about. So yeah, murderous children, or murderous sons to their moms, and history of mental illness and ridiculous motives, all tied into one little bow, guys.
Yeah. I will
Any
say,
lasting thoughts, Sierra?
well, because you touched on it in the first one, the first degree versus second degree. What I can see as the difference, other than in the second case, it's in Canada. For one, Canada is way more lenient. For two, he's a fucking actor. For three, he had a good lawyer.
He probably had the money to buy himself a good lawyer, as opposed to a court-appointed
all of
lawyer.
that, yeah. Other than all of that, I could still see how the first one would be considered, quote unquote, worse than the second one, because in the first one,
based on the brutality.
Well, because he used cleaning supplies afterwards to clean it up. He knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas in the second one, someone who knew it was wrong and was trying to get away with it would then try and clean it up. And he went on the fucking internet and was like, I did it, So clearly still not in the right mind.
No.
Whereas in the first one, he was in the right mind enough to clean it up. Or try.
Oh, that's why I love that you're my twisted partner in crime, because
say it.
When I was writing the notes, I felt like Ryan should have gotten first-degree murder because he had planned it for so long.
Oh, yeah,
he
definitely
had time
planned
to
it.
Stop it. So, I mean, they both had time to stop it, but he literally sat there while his mom was just nonchalantly playing the piano and thought about killing her.
I think there's more of a chance, more proof that, what's his name?
The first one?
The second one.
Second, Ryan.
Okay. I was thinking Richard for some reason. I was like, that is not his name.
No, Richard is our good pal, and we have a bonus episode that you should go and listen to from this month.
I just got Miracle in the mail, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I'm so excited to start watching it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me know how it is. Okay, sorry. So you found it already? Holy
I found it
shit.
on Amazon.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
$13.
$13.
Okay, I'm buying it.
For
That's
the
like
whole
$1 an episode.
Yeah. But anyways. I can see how
out,
Ryan's would be proved that he was in mental distress, because he planned it out, because, he did it, because he admitted to do it, because he then took all this other stuff. Like, this whole time, he's having a mental episode, a mental break, a breaking point, not in your right mind. Whereas
100%.
in the first one, what was his name?
Robert.
Okay, see, this is where I was confused. There's too many R's.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
With Robert,
there's a lot of parallels, guys.
Yeah.
I made a good episode, I'll just say that.
With Robert, it felt more like a heat of a moment thing, like a snapped, and not like I have a mental disorder, but like I just got angry.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
There's lots
both
of
them
things
are
to
awful.
consider in both. But yes, absolutely both are awful. Mothers are angels for the most part. Again, circling back to the we Reddit we just did. Not always. But don't kill them for stupid, ridiculous reasons. Sierra will have her ridiculous motives episode coming at your ears next week. And before we roll on out of here, Sierra, what day is it today? It's almost the season to be jolly, but specifically.
Today is November 29th. And on this day in 1972, the first commercially successful video game was released.
Oh, shit.
It was released by Nolan Bushnell, who is also the co-founder of the Atari, and the video game
I was like, that name sounds really familiar.
Yeah. The
Kevin
video game
has
was
an
Pong.
Atari. Fun
Does he?
fact.
I used to have an Atari when I moved. We got rid of
Pong
it.
is epic. I don't care. Yeah. It's easy, mindless. Just play away.
Yep. It's the first commercially successful video game. So 1972 is when we started melting the brains of children with video games.
And continue to melt the brains of mine and Sierra's husbands.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Kevin, I don't know when the last time he plugged it in was, but he has an Atari.
Yeah.
I will send you a picture, Sierra, I promised Jesse this when I came home, and I totally forgot, of Kevin's game setup. He has every console ever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that many gaming consoles. But that's a cool little point in history. I like it.
Yeah, right before Christmas time, so
Yeah,
tis
seems
the
fitting.
season to buy shit.
Yeah, right? Nolan knew what he was doing. He's like,
Yes.
all of the parents are going to buy their children an Atari, and they're going to play Pong.
Yep.
1972 versus fucking 2022, where the newest game is Call of Duty.
Versus fucking 2020 when everybody was freaking out about the fucking PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, that was annoying.
Literally when Sierra's like, put the crystals on top of the PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse paid way too much for his.
I don't doubt it. I wanted to get him one because I remember when I came to see you the first time.
Yeah.
Was during that whole kerfuffle of people trying to find them. But
Yeah. That was 2021 then, I guess, huh?
yeah, it was. Like
Okay.
late 2020, early 2021 was like
Well,
when
it came out
nobody
right
could
before
get one.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So, was that
Jesse was probably
Christmas
trying to
2020?
get one for like a few months.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Kevin literally bought his out of a fucking trunk of somebody's car, like a friend of a friend. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
people here were robbing, like, saying they were selling them on Facebook Marketplace, and then when you got cash only, $700, when you showed up with $700, they took your cash. Just
That's
robbing you.
horrible.
Yeah.
Guys, a PlayStation fucking 5 is not worth it. That's like the start of like video game wars to come, that they've made
I
that
just,
little of
like,
a console that's so popular.
People who can be so fucking manipulative as to say, hey, I have this thing you really want for your kid, come and get it, and then they rob you. How fucking awful are humans?
That's really sad, especially because
Yeah.
those parents were probably so stressed about
Yeah.
being able to get it for their kids in the first place.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, guys. We're gonna
Humans
have
suck.
inevitably we're gonna have a ridiculous motives part 2 just surrounding the PlayStation 5. God damn it. But like I said, we'll see you guys next week for Sierra's episode. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening if you like the show, or a 5-star rating on Spotify. Anything helps. Tell your friends, tell your family. Check us out on Patreon if you feel so inclined, starting at $1 a month. And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted.
Thank you for listening to Twisted and Uncorked podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can also check out all of our sources and materials, as well as photos for the episode, on our website at twistedanduncorked.com. And you can follow us on social media at Twisted and Uncorked or Twisted_pod on Twitter. Thank you so much for all of your love and support, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode. Cheers!